Hi guys, just a few things before we start the video. Firstly, if I used your map in this video, thanks very much. It's really great to have people in the Geoguessr community working on so many great resources. And also, there is going to be the link for this presentation inside the description, which you can go and look at and copy all the maps and save them to your computer if you would like to. So go ahead and do that. Hello everyone, it is Zigzag here. Welcome to today's episode, which is 10 useful maps for using during Geoguessr. I have picked these out over a number of months. It's a follow-up to the first part of the video where I did 10 world maps, so that'll be linked in the description. If you'd like to go and check it out, please do. But without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so the first one is the chevron color schemes used around Europe. This is incredibly important stuff to know. There are some countries that heavily use chevrons and others that use them more rarely, but they will often, especially in no-moving games, be one of the only clues that can help you decide between one country and another. So knowing that France has the blue and white scheme and Italy has the black and white scheme can really help you out in similar looking countries. Obviously there's a lot of repeats, but a country like Turkey uses chevrons all the time by the side of the road. I'll pop a picture up right now. So that is really important to know. Next up is license plates in Canada. Now, you've all seen probably the United States version of this map, but the Canadian one I have not seen, probably till recently, and it will really help you out in certain situations when you're playing no moving or no moving panning and zooming. So you've got British Columbia, Ontario, I think it's Manitoba. These provinces use front and back plates, whereas the rest of Canada doesn't. However, more people actually live in provinces that use both, so you should keep that in mind, and you can use it to help you out in province streaks or just to get a better score. Righto. Next one is the pedestrian crossing stripes. So this sign for pedestrian crossings is used all over Europe, and it has a number of different styles. You can see, like in Russia and Ukraine and stuff, they have like kind of a alien shaped head, whereas the rest kind of use a round one. But these all have different numbers of stripes on the pedestrian crossing, and so you can see that if you have like some Gen 3 or 4 coverage where you can actually more or less read the sign, and then you can see how many stripes you can have. Just a small bit of knowledge like that can really help you notice the difference, for example, between Sweden and Finland, or between Portugal and Spain, or something like that. Can be really useful. Okay. Next one is European license plates. Bit of an emphasis on Europe in this episode because Europe is kind of one of the most difficult places to get. But we do have a whole number of different little unique parts on number plates that are really useful. For example, Russia. You probably know this, but it doesn't have any blue strip on the side of the plate. Portugal has a little bit of yellow on the right side of the plate. And the UK uses yellow with a blue strip, whereas the Isle of Man uses yellow with a red strip. So it's all kinds of things like this that are really useful to know. This map is not 100% accurate, or sometimes the plates differ a little bit. For example, the Ukraine plate, normally they don't have a full blue strip, they have like a partial one, so it's often not easy to see through the blur, but you can see there's a number of useful things to glean from this one. Next up, we do have license plates of the whole of the Americas. Now, this is not something I've committed to memory yet, but when you do know your stuff, it's very helpful. For example, knowing that Vermont has the green plate, knowing that New York has the yellow plate with the black strip at the top. Stuff like this. Alberta has the red lettering versus British Columbia, which has the blue lettering. This stuff is very useful, and especially for South America. Bolivia got blue lettering on there. Argentina with a black plate where you can see the black dot in the middle. Stuff like that is very, very helpful indeed, and if you can commit this stuff to memory, you really up your game, especially, learning to see how it looks through the blurs. But I would highly recommend learning at least some of the more obvious ones here. Alright, next up is kind of a more niche one, although very useful if you were also to commit this one to memory, and it is a Nigeria map that someone has gone out here and mapped out all the follow cars. So Nigeria, you pretty much always got someone from the government following you along. For example, you can have up here this police car, you got the black car, the red car, and the silver car. And this map pretty much details where you can find these different cars. For example, in Lagos, the capital, you can pretty much only have the grey car, well, silver or grey car, in the majority of the city. However, you can also find the grey, the black and the red cars to the east of it. So, and then just learning all this, super useful. Here is a world map of stop signs. So, in South America, you're using the Pare stop sign. In Central America, you're using the Alto stop sign. And there are a number of other stop signs here, for example, the Arabic one, the Turkish one, the Mongolian one, and the Southeast Asian ones, which are definitely worth learning, can definitely help you out. Even in Europe, some signs will lack an outline, some will have a thicker outline, and some will have like a straight-sided O versus a round O, so that kind of stuff is actually quite useful to learn because stop signs, you see them all around the place. Here is one for the signs when you enter a town. Now, don't get confused. Don't think that, you know, just because Germany's got a yellow sign here that it means that all German signs are yellow. No, it's just the particular kind of sign that European cities and towns almost always have, where they just got it's a little town, often say like the population or the region or something on it, and that will tell you the learning these colors can really help you out for when you're entering a town. And yeah, there's different variations in different countries, but you know, if you know that Polish ones are green and that German ones are yellow and that French ones are white, well, that can help you with 3 potentially similar looking countries that should have theoretically very different ones. Also note that the Balkans are often using yellow there, so you got Slovenia, Croatia, Serbia, Montenegro, and North Macedonia all using yellow, Albania using blue. So there you go. Alright, next up we have a similar one to the Nigeria one. This one is a map of Kenya made by Tall Impala, I believe, and he has actually gone and mapped out where the black car and where the silver car actually travel, and which side of the road they travel on, and even whether they're going both directions or not. So this is a highly useful map if you wanted to perfect your Kenya guess, and Kenya does not have that much coverage, so it's really useful. So you could say that a general rule is that the black kind of travels more north to south and the silver travels more east to west, and also the Mombasa car is normally black all the way to Mombasa, but then in Mombasa it's silver. So a lot of different little things to learn there, but certainly a good use of your time if you are playing a lot of African maps. Next up is a map made by yours truly, and this one is showing you what different Google cars you can see in different regions of the Americas. For example, in North America, when you are not in a national park or something like that, there is no car visible. Whereas in Mexico and Brazil, you're always going to have different cars. You've got the white car, you've got the stubby antenna, you've even got the Generation 4 camera. In a country like Chile, it's pretty much always the white car. I mean, there's a couple of other specific Chilean cars, but yeah, you're pretty much always good to go with a country like Chile, with a country like Bolivia. So, very useful to know. I've pretty much covered every country you can get on there. I mean, apart from Costa Rica, which is only Trekker. So, there you go. Finally, we've got this bonus. This is not a map, but it is a good little infographic that I got from the Pro Discord, and it is going to show you the different brick styles used in Latin American countries most often. And, well, these ones are not tips that you could confidently rely on 100% of the time. They are generally useful, and it's interesting how homogeneous the country's brick style often is. They all tend to go for a style and stick with it, and so it's a pretty good thing to learn. And yeah, particularly Bolivia, I think, is one of the most noteworthy ones there, because you'll see houses with this kind of cross of cement in the bricks, with that kind of brick very often. So that is it for the video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I'll be bringing you many more videos soon, so be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.